Baba friend no say wa deja futu for asuje oyo ampa na hindi na battery so Baba friend no say wa deja futu for asuje oyo ampa what say
Damasco. Hey, you brought the energy. Damasco with the energy. Damasco with the vibes. Damasco with the... In fact, Damasco is Damasco. It's nothing but the words. Thank you. So anyways, we are coming up with the next session. And our first session has been amazing, or not? We've learned about personal branding. We've learned about marketing. And we shouldn't forget that as we are putting ourselves out there and all, there are aspects of our life that we have to take important, especially our minds. Our minds is what carries everything that we have. Our whole body, without the mind, your hand won't move, your legs won't move. Nothing will work properly inside. So I'd like to welcome the next speaker. He's a pastor, a lecturer, and currently the counseling psychologist at Tema General Hospital. He's the none other but then the Daniel Komna. But anyways, the name is so. He said his name is a botanical name. The same name is a botanical name. So when he mentions it, we'll see it. But then, let's welcome our next speaker. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Alfred. Good afternoon. I hope you are all. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Hello. Can you hear me? All right. So my name is Daniel Komla Akwensivie. All right. So you've learned about branding, right? All right. You know, as the leader who introduced me rightly pointed out, the mind is everything. For you to be able to brand yourself, you need a sound mind to be able to do the branding. Is that not it? Or do a proper branding. So this afternoon we are coming to discuss about the mind, one aspect of the mind. Okay? So when we talk about mental health, what is mental health? Who can tell me what is mental health? Who has an idea about what mental health entails? Mental health. Have you heard about it before? Okay.
So mental health is where your mind or your brain is stable. You have no depression. You are free, and then you can think. You are able to think sharp.
Powerful. That's great. Another. Any other idea? Any other idea? Okay. Please, the media team, can you help me project so that they can follow? So mental health is more than just the absence of sickness. When we talk about mental health, it goes beyond the absence of sickness. Mental health is a state of mental well-being. Okay, is there? Mental health is a state of mental well-being that enable people to cope with stresses of life, realize their abilities, learn well, and work well, and contribute to their community. So when we talk about mental health, it is your ability to cope with the stresses of life. Life is full of stress, and we'll be talking about stress as I move on. The stresses of life, realize your ability, your potential. I heard the first speaker spoke about potentials or your abilities. For you to be able to realize the potential that God has deposited in you, you need to be able to have a sound mind to be able to do that. Is that correct? And having good mental health does not mean you are problem-free. It is one's ability to manage and adapt to life's challenges. So when we say you have a good mental health, it doesn't mean you don't have any problem. In fact, there's no human being without any problem. If you don't have problem, it means you are not living. It means you are dead. So anytime you say, I don't want stress, no, it means you don't want to live. Because life is full of challenges. Life is full of challenges. I believe all of us here as students, we write mock exams, we do exercise, they give us assignment, homeworks, and all that. They are difficult. No student like exams. Me, I don't like exams at all. No one. It doesn't matter your level, the level you've got into. Nobody wants to take an exam. But it is part of life. It is part of growth. Do we understand? So your ability to be able to manage and adapt to life challenges means you have good mental health. So, what are the components of mental well-being? The components of mental well-being. Mental well-being can change over a time depending on your life experiences, physical health, and your environment. So mental health is not static, okay? It changes over a period of time based on certain factors. For example, your environment can affect your mental health. Your environment can affect your mental health. Your life experiences, your physical health can also affect your mental health. For instance, there are certain sicknesses or ailments that can cause mental health challenges. For example, STI, UTI, urinary tract infection like this can cause you to have mental challenge. Okay? So your physical health can affect your mental health and your environment, as I pointed out earlier on. So what are the components of our mental health? Emotional well-being. Emotional well-being. The ability to understand, regulate, and express emotions. The first speaker made mention of emotional intelligence. So your ability to regulate your emotions. Your ability to regulate your emotions. How you handle disappointment, how you handle disagreement, how you handle anger. Then we have the psychological well-being. It includes self-acceptance, autonomy, sense of purpose, and personal growth. So, when it comes to the psychological well-being, you should be able to accept who you are. You need to appreciate who you are because we are all unique in our own special way. No two persons are the same. Do you know that when we thumbprint your fingerprint on a paper, we can go around the whole world and nobody's fingerprint will match yours. Are you aware of that? It means every individual is unique. Even identical twins are unique. And you need to accept yourself. You know, as I stand here, someone will say, this man is too tall. Another one will see me, he say, wow, look at him, very slim and nice. So we are all unique, yes. Sometimes you may think you are short. Another person, wow, look at her, she's cute. So we are all unique. Am I lying? Yes, we are all unique. You are unique in your own way. So you should be able to accept yourself. You need to accept the fact that you are able to think for yourself. You are able to decide for yourself. That is what we call autonomy. The ability to think and make decisions and make choices for yourself. All right? Then your sense of purpose. Why are you on earth here? Are you here to add to the numbers? Or you are here for a reason? Okay? Then your personal growth. Your social well-being is also part of the component. Social well-being. Establishing positive relationship, feeling connected to others, contributing to your community. You know, the fact is that we are all social beings. Even the most introverted person still has a social life to live. So we are all social beings. So your ability to interact with others. You can't live in isolation. You can't live alone. Life is a contact game. No matter how gifted you are, you need others to be able to function. No one is an island unto themselves. Do we understand? So we are social beings. And that is one component of our mental health. Then cognitive abilities. Being able to think clearly, maintain focus, and make decisions. So your ability to think is part of your mental health. You should be able to think clearly. Then behavioral, the ability to maintain a healthy daily routine. So the things you do, how you interact with others, being able to do things right, to be able to fit into the society is also very important. Then resilience, and I love this part. You know, one of the challenges we face these days is that most of us are not resilient enough. We allow a lot of things to break us down. Resilience is not a gift. It is built over a period of time. You know, the challenges you face, the difficulties you go through will either break you or make you stronger. So as young men and women, as we grow, the challenges we face, you go to exams hall, sometimes all that you've learned, you go and you forget. And you come back to your dormitory or hostel very disturbed. This can either break you or help you build resilience. So you should be able to get to a point where you are able to withstand challenges, adversity, failure, because failure is part of life. So the ability to bounce back from adversity and cope well with life's challenges is what we call resilience. Then we have the physical. Mental and physical health are closely linked. Diet, exercise, sleep are all necessary for our overall well-being. Note that these components are interconnected. A disruption in one affects the other. So one area of your life can affect the other area of your life. Okay? They don't live in isolation. So now that we understand what mental health means, I want us to take one important aspect of our mental health, which has to do with stress. Somebody say stress. Okay. Have you all heard about the word stress before? Okay, so what is stress? Who can tell me what stress is? Because you've been saying it. I'm stressed. I'm stressed. What is stress? Who can tell me what stress means?
Please, it's putting force on oneself. Force.
Yes.
It's putting force on oneself.
Okay. Any other person? Stress. Stress. Okay. There's a hand.
It's a state where the is a state where the body is tired or unable to perform functions due to depression or other stuff.
Thank you. That's good.
Okay. So, with physics, knowing that stress is the point of applying force to the material's breaking point. So, in regards, in physics, knowing that stress is the process of applying force to the material's breaking point. But with we humans, is when external features from our environment disturb us to the point that we cannot function properly as we are supposed to.
Right? Hey, that's good. Powerful. Okay. Yes, please.
Okay, so stress can be defined as a situation where one experiences challenges he or she cannot withstand.
All right. Any other? Okay. Last person.
Um, stress is something that um, stress is something that has been caused by emotional worry. It's a feeling that is actually caused by emotional worry, pressure, which could be a difficult situation.
Powerful. Powerful. So, we'll be looking at having an understanding of what stress is, learn the unavoidability of stress, the effectiveness or effective way of managing stress, and also how to avoid negative effect of stress. All right. So let's look at the definition of stress. Please, can you? So stress is defined as the non-specific response of the body to any demand made on it. Non-specific response of the body to any demand on it. The next one. The anxious or threatening feeling that comes when we interpret or appraise a situation as being more than our psychological resources can adequately handle. So the anxious or threatening feeling that comes when you interpret or appraise an event. So for example, during exams, examination is coming, and maybe you are not very good when it comes to maths. So immediately they mention maths, this thing is difficult too. You know, the interpretation you are giving to it, your body is going to respond to it, and that is stress. Do you understand me? So your appraiser, the interpretation or appraiser you give to a situation, that is being more than your psychological resources can handle. Then the last one, a response to demand on the body. The body's way of reacting to a condition it understands as a barrier or a challenge. So let's look at stresses. If there's stress, then there's something called stressor. Okay? So we want to look at what a stressor is. A stressor simply means the trigger, what triggers stress or the cause of stress. Okay, for example, if you are going to write exams and you are studying, you know there's a bit of anxiety there. You want to pass. So in that moment, the examination has become a stressor. Or you are in a traffic, going somewhere, and there's so much traffic. You sit in the car for a long time. The traffic has become a stressor to you. Do you understand? Okay. So the event that triggers the stress is known as stressor. So for examples of stresses, daily stress, positive stress, sudden change, trauma, and let's look at some types. Chronic long-term stress. Chronic stress is known as long-term stress. Then we have episodic acute stress. It is intense stress experienced on a regular basis. Episodic acute stress. It is an intense stress experienced on a regular basis. So it's like the stress is very intense and it keeps repeating itself over a period of time. It means you have episodic acute stress. Do you understand? Are we getting it? All right. Then we have eustress. So stress is not bad in its entirety. There's what we call eustress. That is positive stress. Positive stress. And it is good for performance. It is good for achievement. For example, when you are going to write an exams, You need to study. Is that not it? You go through stress. Why are you studying? To be able to pass. So in the absence of that stress, you will not be able to pass the exams. So that is a positive stress. So stress is not always negative. Do we understand? Stress is not always negative. There's a positive side to stress. Then we have acute stress. It occurs suddenly and is resolved after the threat is removed. Then we have distress. That is unpleasant, threatening stress. Oh, media, you are way behind. Oh. Way behind. If you can move. Okay, so we want to look at sources of stress. Sources of stress. We have 7 major stresses. The first one is conflict. Conflict. When you have a disagreement with someone, it can stress you. Is that not it? When you disagree with someone, you are arguing back and forth, it can bring some sort of stress to you. No, not sources of stress. Give me the other one. The 7 major stresses. Good. So conflict can be stressful, especially those of us who don't like conflict. We don't like argument. We don't like contention. So once you are in a place and there's so much contention, you begin to stress up. How many of us have experienced that before? Once there's too much conflict, you begin to feel stress. Okay. Then we have frustration. Frustration. You want to do something and you are not getting it right. You can be frustrated and that can give you stress. Then we have hassles. We have job stress. We have chronic stress. We have life changes. Okay. Then we have cataclysmic stress or event. These are events that we don't plan of. For example, a natural disaster like an earthquake. You didn't plan for it, like the flooding that happened. Okay. Let's move to the next one. So we have financial strain. We have financial strain. For most of us, yes, some of us, we are young, but we are still facing the challenges of finances, because if mommy and daddy are unable to provide your needs, sometimes it brings a lot of stress on you. Okay? So financial stress. We also have environmental stresses. So sometimes where we live, some places are very noisy, they are very chaotic, disorganized, and based on your personality type, some of us cannot thrive in environment like that where there is no order, there's so much chaos and all that. It can really be stressful. Then we have health challenges. As I mentioned earlier on, when you are sick, or if you are sick, it brings stress. Okay? Then we have what we call technological overload. And that is where most of us find ourselves. We can be on phone for several hours. Okay? Doing TikTok and all that. It can stress you. It can stress you. So technological overload can cause you stress. Laughing. So you need to manage the use of technology. Technology is very good, but if you don't use it well, it can be a source of stress. Okay? So we want to look at some few theories here. General adaptation syndrome. It talks about stages of stress. Stages of stress. The general adaptation syndrome. We have the alarming stage, we have the resistance stage, then we have the exhaustion stage. So let's look at it deeply. So when we talk about the alarming stage, for example, as we are here, if someone shout, snake, 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 what would be the first thing you do?
Police are around.
I'll run.
Run. Okay. So it is you know what? There's a signal in your brain and your body is responding. So that is what we call fight or flight. So your body or your mind is telling you there's danger. And you need to do something. So it's either you run away or you face the danger to be able to conquer the danger. Because it is not everyone that will run. Someone will start chasing the snake, looking for the snake. Where is it? I want to kill it. Another person will run away. Based on our experiences and our interpretation of what we see. Because to someone, the mere mention of snake means death. So they have to run away. And someone will say, no, this thing, I need to kill it. Okay? So that is the alarming stage. So your body is giving you an alarm that there's a threat. There's a threat. There's a threat. And what are the physical signs of being in the alarm stage? Dilated people. So your eyes, you realize that the color of your eyes changes. All of a sudden, your eyes becomes red because there's danger. Okay? You begin to breathe fast. Your breathing pattern changes. Okay? Some of us will begin to sweat profusely. It is your body's response to the threat that is at stake. Okay? Trembling, pale or flash skin, heightened senses. So your senses become heightened. You are hyper vigilant. Immediately you become hyper vigilant. You are looking around. You are looking around how to take cover. You also have headaches or migraines, nausea. You feel like vomiting, racing thoughts. Your mind, your brain is all over the place. A lot of thoughts coming through because you are trying to find a solution to the threat. Okay? Increased heart rate, as I said, insomnia, some of us cannot sleep, high blood pressure, shortness of breath, and all other things. Then from the alarm stage, we move to the resistance. Okay? So prolonged levels of high stress can cause disturbances in the immune and digestive system. So at the resistance level, your body is now trying to adjust back to the original state. So now your body is resisting that threat or the response that that threat has given to the body. Please, are you following? So that is the resistance stage. So you need to come back to your original state. Then the last stage is the exhaustion stage. The exhaustion stage. If you are unable, or when you are able to overcome that threat, then exhaustion comes in. And that is the final stage of stress. And that can be problematic. Okay? It can be problematic. If you are not careful, it may affect you in diverse ways. So prolonged or chronic stress that is unresolved leads to the third stage. Enduring stresses without relief drains one's physical, emotional, and mental resources to the point where the body is no longer able to cope with the stress. So when it gets to that stage, you become emotionally drained. You are tired because your hormones, your senses have become alert for a prolonged period of time. Can you imagine being on edge for like 3 days? There's an event and you couldn't, you are unable to overcome it and you are on edge consistently for 3 days. You will not be able to sleep, right? You will not be able to eat well. A lot of things can go wrong. And that can affect your health. Not only your health, your mental health as well. So what are the signs at the exhaustion stage? Number one, we have the emotional signs. Emotional signs. You have mental fatigue. You realize that you can't think well. It's like you are tired in your mind. This one is not even physical. Your mind is tired. You can't concentrate. You can't do anything. You can't even think straight. Mental fatigue. Anxiety. You become overly anxious. Okay? Anxiety sets in. Apathy. Irritability. You used to be someone who is very calm. All of a sudden, you are irritated. Little thing, you are agitated. You are angry. Under normal circumstances, you are not like that. Okay? So anytime you get to this stage where you are getting angry too quickly, it is your body's way of sending you a signal that you are getting exhausted, you are getting tired, and you need to pause. Because if you don't stop, or you don't pause, or you don't do anything about it, it will affect your mental well-being. Okay? So when you see a friend who is jovial, who is very calm, and all of a sudden they are getting angry, you share a joke with them and they are offended. This might be a sign of stress, and they are at the exhaustion stage. Okay? Then we have the emotional or behavioral signs. Burnout, feeling of depletion of energy, increased mental distance from work, cynicism, or feelings of negativism, especially to work or to school. So at this stage, when you wake up, you don't even feel like going for classes. You don't want to go to the classroom. How many of us have experienced that before? You wake up and it's like, you don't feel, there's no motivation, there's no drive for you to go to lectures or class. You are not alone, you all feel it. There are days I wake up and I don't want to go to work. When I see the weather changing, I say, praise the Lord, let it rain, so that at least that will be a good excuse, isn't it? Yes, and this it is not age specific. When I was at your age, I felt the same thing. I remember those days when we wake up in the morning and it starts raining, then we say, hooray. That is very good. We are not going to school. So it is your body's way of telling you that, look, I am tired. So behaviorally, you realize that you become distant. There's no motivation for you again. Then a lot of negative thoughts. Okay? A lot of negativism. Then the physical signs. Frequent illness and complaints of exhaustion, overuse of medicines. So when you get to this point, because you are tired, some of us will resort to taking painkillers. Okay? The headache, I want to take some para. I want to take this and that and that. No. If you are not careful, then you begin to abuse drugs or medication. Okay? We have something we call the psychosomatic symptoms. Psychosomatic. Please move to the next slide for them. Psychosomatics. It is that when you get to a stage where the exhaustion is so much, then you begin to manifest physical symptoms of sicknesses. Okay? So it's physical, it's real, you see it. So sometimes you have skin rashes, sometimes constant headache. It is a psychological condition that is mimicking medical conditions. So you go to the hospital, they run all the tests, and they will tell you nothing is wrong with you. And those of us who are very spiritual, then we say, it is spiritual, something. Something is inside. Someone is doing me. Then we begin to imagine in our head, last time I had an issue with this person. He said, you wait, you will see. So she may be the one responsible. No, sometimes it is stress. So you are experiencing what we call psychosomatic. Okay, psychosomatic. So some of us will have stomach issues, diarrhea. You are running without any reason. Sometimes you even have constipation, depending on individuals. Okay, psychosomatics. So you have muscle pain and tension occurring in the neck and shoulders. How many of us have experienced that before? You feel pain at your neck, your back. These are signs that you are stressed. Okay? These are symptoms of extreme stress on your body. I experience that a lot. So once I get to that stage, I know my body is telling me I am tired. I am tired. I need time out. You also experience fatigue, feeling tired or exhausted without doing any physical activity. So it gets to a point in time, you didn't do any physical activity, but you are very tired. How many of us have experienced that? It's not like you went to read, nothing, no physical activities. You are tired, you are exhausted. It is a sign of what? Stress. Okay? So stress may be the cause of hair loss. So the psychosomatic I'm talking about, you see that your hair is just going, peeling off. Just like that. Okay? Hair loss. And it happens to the ladies a lot. It can also cause asthma. Okay? It can also cause weight gain. Some people, when they are stressed, they put on a lot of weight. Do you know why? Because at that time, some people, they use food as a means of coping with the stress. So they do binge eating. They overeat. Eat a lot of food. How many of us have been doing that? When you are stressed up, you eat a lot. Yes. So you put on weight. But with you, you are like me, so you won't put on weight. It can also cause diabetes, okay, because your sugar level will shoot up. Because when we are stressed or when we face a threat, there's a hormone called stress hormone, that is the cortisol. When it is released into the system for a prolonged period, it increases our sugar level, and that can cause you, give you diabetes, okay? Headache, as I mentioned. It can also lead to cardiovascular disease. We all know what cardiovascular disease means. Heart-related conditions, okay? Then it can also lead to poor health. So what are the effects of stress? Health. It slows down or interferes with your health promotion behaviors, increases non-adherence to treatment, and neglect healthy lifestyle. So sometimes some of us, when we are stressed up, we begin to indulge in unhealthy lifestyles. Okay? Because some of us, if you are not careful, you begin to even drink, turn into alcohol and many other unhealthy lifestyle, and that can cause your health. And some of us, when we are stressed up, let's assume you are on medication, you don't want to adhere to your treatment plan. Psychological stress leads to psychosomatic symptoms, which I've mentioned earlier on. It increases the progression of some chronic illness. So if you have a chronic disease, stress can prolong or can increase the symptoms of that particular sickness. Okay? It also reduces productivity. It also affects family functioning. So we are now at the most important stage, which is the management of stress. So we all agree that, stress, nobody can avoid stress. Stress is part of our daily life. If you don't want stress, then you have to die. That is the only way we can avoid stress. Because once you wake up, if you ask anybody and say, oh, me, I don't have any stress, they are lying. It means they are not living. They are dead. Because you know that sitting at one place doing nothing can also be stressful. So stress is part of our daily lives. Okay? Stress is part of our daily life. So the only people who are not stressed are those who are in the cemetery. Those who are dead. Even in Ghana, I believe they are also stressful. Last I was telling someone, even in Ghana, your corpse is stressed. They will stress it, will stress you. Will stress everything out of you, even when you are dead. You see the way we organize our funeral? They carry the casket, especially if you are not fortunate enough and you belong to some rascal group. You'll be throwing the casket. So even your dead body will be stressed. You see? So stress is everywhere. So we want to look at stress management. Okay? Stress management programs uses a variety of strategies to reduce anxiety, fear, and stressful experience by managing 3 different aspects of our lives. That is our thoughts. Okay? So to be able to handle stress, we have 3 different areas of our lives. That is the thoughts, the way we view things. Do you know the way you see something or see an event and your interpretation to it can either make it stressful or non-stressful? Do you agree? Yeah, sometimes the way you see things. Because if exams is coming and you feel like the exams is difficult, this one I cannot do it, it becomes stressful. But if you view it as a way of promotion, as a way of moving to your next level, it becomes fun. Is that not it? Yeah. So your thought process, then your behavior. So how you respond to that stress, okay? How you behave in the midst of the stress and your physiological response. So in managing stress, we have what we call the problem focus. The problem focus method. So the problem focus method is you are looking at what the challenge is. What is the challenge? What is the challenge? So let's take something like an example. Daddy and mommy are fighting at home. Okay? And because of that, it is giving you stress. They are your parents. Can you go and catch them and say, hey, you people should stop misbehaving. Sit down and stop misbehaving. If not, I'm leaving home. Will you be able to do that? You can't do it. Where are you going? You won't go anywhere. You have nowhere to go. So, in this situation, the problem, if you focus on the problem, you can't have a solution because you can't change it. Another example, maybe you are working in an organization. Okay? Your boss is not a very nice person. And your boss is stressing you. You don't have another job anywhere. You know how difficult it is to get a new job. Are you going to leave the job? If you leave the job, what? How are you surviving? Okay? So the first thing, you look at the problem. Is there a solution? Can you change a situation? If it is something that you can change, then you change it. So you look at the problem. Okay? You focus on the problem. Is there a solution to this problem? If there's a solution, You solve it. Then, if there is no solution, you still have to leave. Because that is just one aspect of your life. Okay? That is just one aspect of your life. That is not functioning well. You don't have to allow it to affect every aspect of your life. For example, you are going to write exams. Okay? You have issue with mathematics. I keep mentioning mathematics because I have issue. Okay? So, you have a challenge with mathematics. Mind you, you are not you are not only doing mathematics. You have a lot of courses or subjects you are dealing with. You don't have to allow your challenges with mathematics to affect your challenges with what? Physics or biology or chemistry or any other subject. Because if you are not careful, your challenge, the challenge you face with mathematics may affect all the other subjects. But because that is just one area of your life. And sometimes you can function well without it. I am not very good at mathematics, but I'm here today. All right? So I found a way around it, and I'm doing well. So then so once we look at the problem focus and we have a solution, then that is okay. We end it there. But if there is no solution, then we move to the next step, which is the emotional focus. Okay? Because sometimes we don't have control over the situation. But we have control over our emotions. We have control over how we want to react to the situation, how we want to feel. Is it true? Yes. Because even in school, you don't have control over how people treat you. But you have control over how you want to feel, what they say, and what they do. Am I correct? So we move to the emotional focus. So you want to look at how emotionally you'll be able to cope with the situation. Okay? You want to look at how emotionally you respond to that situation. So let's assume your colleagues are teasing you, making fun of you in the school, and you are not happy about it. You've warned them to stop and they are not stopping. What will you do?
Just ignore them.
Years ago, when I was in JHS, in a Greek class, I attempted to answer a question, and Charlie, myself, in fact, I mispronounced a particular word, and in fact, you know how school is. It became a nickname. They were laughing at me, they were teasing me. I look at them, I say, no, if I want to fight these people, this name will become permanent. So what I did is I ignored them. If you mention it, I won't respond, I won't tell, because that is not my name. My name is Daniel. So, do you want to know the name of that thing? I won't mention it. You are bad, girl. I won't mention it. So they were mentioning that name. When they see me, they mention me by that name, and I just ignore them. Within months, they stop. If I were fighting, if I decided to fight them, it wouldn't have stopped. Yeah. Because I saw those who were fighting, I don't like it, and till date, even on old school platform, they are still calling them by that name. Okay? So sometimes you regulate your emotion. That is where the emotional intelligence comes in. It is not every situation that you respond to. No. There are things you ignore. Because I always say this, I don't spend so much energy on things that has no direct bearing on my destiny. Things that don't have any direct bearing on my destiny, I don't fight over them because they are not going to add anything to it, to me. So once I realize, I weigh the options and this thing, it has no direct bearing on my destiny, go ahead, I'll just leave it and move on. Because there's no time to waste. Life is moving. Okay? Then the next management strategy is social support. Social support. Social support. So we look at, all of us, you have someone. Someone that you can be vulnerable in their presence without any shame. Okay? There should be someone that you are able to share your pains, your fears, your worries with, without any shame, without the feeling of being judged. Because, we are human beings. There's a breaking point. We can just take so much. They get to a point in time where you can no longer take it. And in that instance, you should be able to get someone to speak to. And sometimes the person even doesn't have the solution. How many of us have experienced that? You go to someone, you just vent, the person doesn't even have the solution, but after venting, you realize that you are okay and you walk away. Yes. The person may not have the solution. They don't. Just listening to you, venting and talking, blah, 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 you say it is well. And that is okay. So you should be able to make friends that will be able to become your social support system. It is very important. So don't be in the school and be an island on your own. No. Because we are interconnected. We are interconnected. There are issues that sometimes we just need someone to hear us out. You need a friend. You need a friend. Okay, so don't think you can handle everything all by yourself. When it gets to a point and you realize that this one, I can't handle it again, reach out to someone. And listen, all of us, when someone confides in you, it means they trust you. It means they believe in you. There are thousands of people they could have approached. They came to you. Please, keep whatever they are telling you is not for public consumption. If it was to be for public consumption, they would have gone to the information center to announce it. They didn't do that. They came to you and they spoke to you. So don't move from that person and say, hey, have you heard? Yeah. Answer. Do you know what is happening? No. It's not a good thing to do. Because that is why we find it difficult to confine in people. Because once you tell someone, by the time you move, it is all over the place. So those of us who have been doing that, it is not a good thing. Try to keep secret. Don't say your head is not a wholesale. Your head must be a wholesale. Because one day you also need someone to keep your secrets for you. One day you need someone. Then we look at, so social support includes friends, family members, teachers, and all those people around, people we can trust. Okay? So let's offer support to people. When you see that someone, like I gave an example, someone who is very lovely, very jovial, and all of a sudden they are becoming very angry, irritated, don't just say, they may be going through a lot of stress. So get closer to them, ask them, what is happening? Are you okay? Can we talk about it? Approach the person instead of tagging the person. You are too some way. You cry, you are some way, dodo. Then we begin to shun them. That is bad. Okay? So when you see that someone's behavior or attitude is changing, someone who is very active in class, all of a sudden they've gone silent. They are not active again. Don't just look at them and say, maybe this is how he or she want to be. No. Go to them. Talk to them. Talk to them. Okay? So social support. Social support. Then cognitive restructuring. Cognitive restructuring. The way we think. You know that the way we think affects the way we behave. So I made mention that sometimes stress is as a result of our interpretation of events. Right? So the way you think about it, the way you view it, the way you interpret it, your appraisal of the situation, your interpretation of that event can make it stressful. So sometimes, instead of trying to look at the problem, look at the way you view the problem. Once you change your mind about the problem, you realize that you'll be fine. So you need to have a rethink. Okay, a rethink. It is not every situation that is threatening. It's not every situation that is threatening. For example, if you shout dog, 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 it is not every dog that is harmful. Is that not it? Some of the dogs are very friendly. But because you have in your mind that dogs are dangerous, once you see a dog, you begin to run. You're putting stress on yourself for nothing. That dog may not be harmful after all. Do you understand? So the way you see the situation, the way you view that exams, the way you view that course, that subject, that topic will either make it stressful or non-stressful. So cognitive restructuring, you need to re-examine the way you view things. So if you are constantly stressed, every day you are stressed, then it is time for you to sit back and ask yourself, am I looking at this situation in the right way? My view about this situation, is it right? Is it right? Because, if you are not careful, you can stress yourself over nothing, because you see 2 people gathered or 3 people gathered and you are passing and they are laughing, and before you know, you think they are gossiping about you. Meanwhile, sometimes they haven't even seen you at all. They didn't pay attention to you. They didn't even notice you. But you have in your mind that once people are laughing, because probably you have experienced that before. Something happened, and so anytime you see 2 or 3 people gathered and you are passing and they are laughing, it is about you. No. So you can ask yourself, what if it is not me? Are you seeing it? So the way you think, because all these things are important for our mental health. If you don't have a good mental health, you cannot realize your potential. Anytime you see a mentally challenged person on the street, these are people with potential. So some of them are very intelligent. Some of them are very skillful. But now they are almost like they have become useless. Is that not it? So your mental health is very important. So sometimes for the sake of your mental health, you need to reevaluate the way you think about certain things. You need to think. So cognitive restructuring is essential. Then we have religious coping. Religious coping. Sometimes you are stressed up, you come to church. By the time they are done with the praise and worship, you are relieved. How many of us have experienced that before? You are tired. You go to church. Yes. So you realize that the religion has an important role to play when it comes to managing stress. Or sometimes you are faced with a challenge, you are faced with a condition, you don't know what to do about it. You just pray. After praying, you leave it. And personally, that is what I do. When I was doing my master's, there were some of the courses that were very difficult because I don't like calculation. Some of the courses were full of calculation. In master's, especially MPhil, you can't do MPhil without calculation. No matter what you do, you meet calculation because of thesis. So I met it face to face. And I saw it and I say, wow. So I look at it. I went to the faculty. I met the faculty officer. I asked her, is this course, are we the first group to do this course? He said no. Are people passing? He said yes. I said thank you. I left. Do you know why I did that? I want to take a different view of it. Because, so when I step out, I say, if people have been passing, then I can also pass. Those who are passing don't have 2 heads. They don't have 4 eyes. They are just like me. So once they are able to do it, then I should be able to do it. So the stress was gone. The fear, the anxiety. That's it. That's it. When I go to exam hall and write a paper and I feel I didn't do too well, when I leave, I go to this and buy fufu and eat. And my mate will be asking me, you are not worried. Hey, this is difficult. And I ask them, what will I do? What is the worst case scenario? I'll fail. And what will I do? I'll rewrite. It can't be worse than that. So I don't see the reason why I should be stressing myself because one paper didn't go well. Because the worst case scenario is that I'll fail and I'll rewrite. I'll prepare and rewrite. If I fail again, I will stop. I'll find another path because that is not the only path. You get it? You don't have to kill yourself. I'm not in any way saying you should be lazy. Work hard. But when it is not working, that does not make you a failure. Maybe that is not your field. Look elsewhere. Look elsewhere. Growing up, I wanted to become an engineer. Practically, in practice, I'm very good. But when I realized that there's a lot of calculation, I said, this is not my field. I'm not doing it. It's not by force. I'm gone. I'm gone. Because I like reading. I like the reading subject and all that. So, here I am. I've switched lanes. Because I even started from technical school. I was doing welding and fabrication. And the idea is to climb to the highest possible level. But as I was climbing, I realized actually engineering science is not an easy thing. Because when I did my first this intermediate, I failed. I have to go and rewrite it. Then I did advanced, I failed again, I have to rewrite it. I said, no. If I go through this, I may frustrate myself at a point in time. So I switch courses. You know, when the first speaker was speaking, something came about career. Someone asked a question which has to do with someone doing different things. You know, our definition of career is sometimes very wrong. Career is different from your profession. When we talk about career is a man's activity from birth to death. So, career doesn't mean you are restricted in one particular area. So, all your activities come together to give you a career. That is a portfolio. Profession can be one, but career can be many. So, if you try this and it is not working, move to another level. At least you gain a little bit knowledge here. Go there. And sometimes, interestingly, the ones that couldn't work out, once you are moving up, they become very important and they help you to even cope well. So don't be afraid to switch careers. As I said, I went to technical school. Okay? I went to technical school. What does technical education got to do with psychology? Are we seeing the whole thing? So I've totally switched to another dimension. So don't stress yourself. Just look at it and pray. If it is difficult, pray. After prayer, you leave it to God. Or is that not it? Unfortunately, some of us, after praying, we go home and we cancel everything that we have prayed about. You know why? Because we go home with the problem again, thinking about the problem. It means we don't even trust God that He is able to solve the problem for us. After praying, you leave it. Why are you praying? Because you cannot handle it. Is that not it? So you've handed it over to someone who is able to handle it for you. So go home, go and sleep. And move on with your life. Trusting God that at the end of the day, He has a plan for you. It will work out for your good. Is it a difficult thing to do? So, religious coping. Okay. Let's move to the next slide. The next slide, please. So, we want to look at the role of nutrition in stress management. The role of nutrition. You know, nutrition has a way of helping us cope with stress. So, you need to eat well. You need to eat well. A lot of vegetables, a lot of fruit, they help in boosting your immune system. And once you have a strong immune system, you are able to withstand stress. Mind you, I made mention that stress can lead to a lot of medical conditions. Do you remember that? So, eating good will help build your immune system to be able to cope with the issues of stress so that your body does not break down in terms of your physical health. Okay? So you eat well. You eat well. Balanced diet benefits. A balanced diet supports both physical and mental health, thereby improving resilience against stress. Okay? some of the nutrient-rich foods are fatty acids, antioxidants, vitamins, and all those things, protein and all that will help you to grow a very strong immune system. Then we look at physical activity. One of the things you can use is once you are stressed up, you take a walk. It can be jogging, it can just be a walk. And whilst doing that, you are not jogging still thinking about the issue. When you do that, you are wasting time. When you are jogging, you take your focus from the issue at stake to what you are doing. Do we understand? So you don't go jogging or taking a walk and you are still thinking, hey, this exam, hey, this exams, yay. You are wasting time. You are just carrying the stress to the street. Leave the stress in your dormitory and walk away. Because the idea is to leave the stress there and refresh your memory. So take a walk around. If you are a boarding student, you can't go out. You can take a walk around. Okay? As you are taking a walk around, you listen to the rhythm of your footstep, your heartbeat. It takes away your mind from the stressful situation. And sometimes even doing that, you begin to do positive self-talk. You talk to yourself. It is well. I will excel. I'm an intelligent person. There's nothing I cannot do. Me, I will excel. I will do well. As you are doing that, you realize that before you realize your mind has been taken off the stressful situation and your mind is being refreshed. Okay? So you take a walk. Okay? You take a walk. Then you can do meditation. You can do meditation. You can meditate. You can meditate. Meditation simply means sitting down in a quiet place, then thinking through to see if you can find a solution. If there's no solution, you take your mind off something else. Okay? For example, your past achievement. Have you ever passed an exam before? Yes. So you focus on that. You look at your success. Some of us, we don't celebrate our success. We are always like focusing on the negative. Celebrate yourself. Oh. Hey. Celebrate yourself. When you achieve something, celebrate it. Be happy. Be happy. All the little successes, celebrate them. They help you to cope with stress. One time I went to someone's office and I asked the person, na new mamuti said also, I said, are you sure nothing is working? He said, nothing is working. So, but I can see your AC working. The AC is working. Look at the wall clock there. It is working. You can't say nothing is working. Something is working. I asked her, can you breathe? He said, yes. So your respiratory system is still working. So why are you saying nothing is working? Something is working. So you see how our mind can stress us. She said nothing is working, nothing. Meanwhile, she's seated under AC. How many people enjoy AC? Go to Mokola and go and see. Someone is standing in the sun and it is scorching them. And you are seated in AC because maybe you are looking for promotion and the promotion is not coming. You say nothing is working. I asked her, did you receive your salary last month? She said yes. So that one too is working. Oh, don't you see it? Something is working. So let's learn to celebrate our little successes. When you write, what do we call it? Class test, exercise, and you pass, it is a big achievement. Celebrate it. Celebrate it. Me, there are days after the day's work, I'm glad that I've been able to impact people. So I get home, get some glass of water, put ice cube inside, and cross my leg. And I'm celebrating myself. I'm chilling. You know, you don't need money to do that. Did it cost me any money? No. I'm celebrating my success because I've had a successful day. Because going to work things could have gone bad. And where I work, my environment, anything at all could have happened. They could have brought one mentally derailed person and we start slapping me. So if I've been able to go to work and came back home safely without receiving any slap, it is a success. It's a joy. So I cross my leg, get my chill drink with, and I'll be sipping it, and that is the way I de-stress. So celebrate your success. You see, the truth is that no matter how good you are, there's someone better than you. No matter how good you are. If you don't understand this, then you'll be stressing yourself unduly. In your school, you may be the best. If you go to another school, you are not the best there. You may get how many ones? And you go to the university and you go and meet people who are better than you. And you need to make peace with that. You need to make peace with that. You are better than someone. Someone is also better than you. That's why I say we are all unique. The most important thing is to fulfill destiny and purpose. Because sometimes it is not even the most brilliant student that makes it in life. When we did our first degree, in fact, I was teaching one guy, a friend. I was the one who teaches him. After teaching him, he will get A and sometimes I'll get B+. So when we were graduating, he graduated with first class. I had second class upper. But guess what? Today, I'm still teaching him. I lecture him. Because when we were done, I proceeded to do my master's. He's now doing the master's and I lecture him. So it is not, and the things I do, he can do it. Sometimes when we are having a conversation, you say, hey, what do you say? Yes, he's a first class student. I'm a second class upper. He's good academically. Practically, I'm also good. So let him be there. I'm also here. We are all charting our path. Because after all, we are not even going to the same destination anyway. We are not going to the same destination. So don't stress yourself. Relax. Do what you can do. Put in the very best effort that you can. The only thing I will not want, or I will not like, or I will be sad about is when I realize that I could have done better than I did. Okay? Then that one, I'll be sad. But if I realize I've given my all, and I can't go beyond what I'm giving, that's it. That's it. So give it your best, and leave the rest. And leave the rest. It's good to get the 8 ones or 8 A's. It's good. It is very nice. But that does not guarantee you a successful career. Not at all. Not at all. Not at all. I've seen first class students roaming the street jobless. Those of us, our leaders, haven't you seen a first class student jobless before? Plenty. Plenty. So don't kill yourself. Do put in your best effort. When it is time for exam, steady. Okay, steady. Once you are done, that is it. You know you've given your best. Okay? So meditation. You practice mindfulness. Then one other thing, my time is almost up. One other thing we can do is to do the relaxation technique. Relaxation technique. Please, can I get a chair? Is it possible to get a chair? Relaxation technique. We are all going to practice it right now. And you also have to sleep well. Some of us, we don't sleep. In the night, we'll be on our phones. TikTok. If you don't sleep well, you become stressful. Then the last thing, before I do the realization technique, is time management. if you want to avoid unnecessary stress, then you need to manage your time well. Some of us, we lack time management skills. Our days are clustered, basa. So everything goes. We can spend 2 hours chatting, 3 hours, 4 hours chatting. Then your books are there. Then last minute, few days to exams, then we put stress on ourselves. No, manage your time. You know, the school, you are there for just a short period. 3 years. So you don't have forever school. You will live. You have to, you know, a day will come where you have to give an account for whatever you've learned there. So why don't you allocate time? Yes, social life is important, but don't give all your time to social life. Because when you do that, what happens is that in the last days leading to the exams, you put stress on yourself. Is that not true? Some of us, even 2 minutes to entering the exam, so then we are looking. We put the book down, then we take it again. You didn't prepare. Because if you prepare adequately, I tell you, on the day of the exams, you don't even have to open your books. It is there. It is inside there. And that can only be possible when you do proper time management. You manage your time. You manage your time. Because there will be so much time for you to play. You see, once you are done with the exams, at least you have about 2 or 3 months to be home. Or let's say even 2 months. 2 months home. Can't you use that time to chat? To do all the social activities? So there's time for everything. So you manage your time. You manage your time. Okay, so we are doing relaxation technique. Let's assume you are stressed up. You are anxious. What you do is you sit down. So all of us, we are practicing it together. Sit down. Put your hands on your lap. You sit straight. Good. Okay. So breathe in. Out. Good. You breathe in, you breathe out. I didn't tell you one thing. The next one, you breathe in through your nostrils, you breathe out through your mouth. So now we are doing it. Breathe in, out. If I don't say out, don't let it come. Breathe in, out. Breathe in, out. And as you do this, you are beginning, you take your mind off the situation again. Then you listen to the rhythm of your breath, okay, your heartbeat. Or you begin to imagine yourself in a very beautiful place. Those of us who like beaches, then imagine yourself being at the beach, walking, and the breeze of the sea flowing. By the time you realize, you are cool. So you close, I like the way you are doing. You close your eyes. You want to concentrate on what you are doing. So we are going to do it again. Breathe in, out, in, out. And as you do it, you can also begin to do positive self-talk. So whatever the situation is, I will overcome it. These exams, I'll pass it. This situation is not difficult. I'll be able to do it. And before you realize, your body has calmed down. And once your body is calm, your mind will also be calm. And you'll be able to think through. You know, most of the time, when we are confronted with a challenge, there's a solution. Oh. But because we are agitated, we can't even see the solution. Once you are calm, so how many of us have faced a challenge and days later, then we realize that, this thing, I should have done it this way. It isn't even difficult. Have you experienced that before? Yes, because you were too anxious, you were too agitated. So once you are calm, you are able to think well, and you are able to find a solution. And as I said, if there is no solution, you don't have to die because there is no solution. Because whatever challenge it is just one area of your life. It does not cover the entirety of your life. So don't let that aspect of your life affect every other area of your life. Let it be there. Let that area be there. Go. Live your life. If you find a solution later on, you come to it. If you don't, you move on. Let it be there. Okay? So you do the relaxation technique or the deep breathing technique. Then you are calm. So even if you are going to the exam hall, some of us, we have examination anxiety. So you get to the exam hall and you are anxious. The first thing you do is sit down, put your pen down, sit down quietly, close your eyes. You breathe in, you breathe out. You breathe in, you breathe out. Before you realize, the anxiety is gone. You write your exams and you go your way. Is it difficult? Is it difficult to do? So your mental health is very, very important. And one last thing, learn to set boundaries. You learn to set boundaries. Okay? Learn to set boundaries. Learn to set boundaries. Be assertive. If it is not right, it is not right. Don't just tolerate everything. It is not everything that you tolerate. So if you think someone's behavior is stressing you, let the person know, look, this is unacceptable. I don't like it this way, so don't do it. Be assertive. Don't feel bad by telling people you are being hurt. It is not bad. Okay? So be assertive. Thank you very much. The floor is open for questions. The floor is open for questions. So when you go through all these things and it is not working, the last resort is to seek professional help. That is why we are there as psychologists. When you come, then we'll help you to find a best way to cope with it. Okay? Any question, please? Questions?
Okay, so please, my question is that what is the difference between stress and depression?
Okay. So stress, as I said, is the body's response to threatening situations. Okay. In actual fact, stress can also lead to depression. Depression is a mood disorder. It's a mood disorder. So depression is when you wake up and you are not happy. You can also pinpoint the reason why you are not happy. You lack energy. You lack desire. You lack drive. Okay? Constantly feeling sad and a lot of negative thinking. It means these are symptoms of depression. You are on your way to being depressed, or you are already depressed. So for stress, it is the body's reaction to threatening situation, or when we perceive a condition or a situation to be beyond what we can handle. Okay? Have I answered you? All right.
So then, when you are stressed out, then you start writing. Are you stressing yourself more, or you are just writing for writing's sake?
Yes, I didn't even mention that. You can do journaling, okay? So you write. One of the best ways to also, so you write. You write. But it depends on the individual. So you have to know what works for you. Everybody and their coping strategies. Someone will listen to music when they are stressed. Someone likes watching movies when they are stressed. So you look at what will work for you, then you apply. Because what may work for you may not work for the other person. Any other question?
Please, I would like to ask, how will you overcome heaviness? Heaviness.
Heaviness.
Yes.
You know, I made mention of cognitive restructuring. With heaviness, it may be dependent on the cause. Because if you don't know the cause, then it will be very difficult to deal with it. So what is causing that heaviness? You need to identify it. So sometimes when you are going through a condition or a situation, you need to first sit down and ask yourself, what is causing this? Because identifying the causative factor is part of the solution. So if you don't know the reason why you are going through what you are going, then it will be very difficult to find a solution. That is where you need to get a professional help. So the psychologists will be able to identify the reason or the causative factor. Then once we see the causative factor, then we find a solution. Any other question? Any other question? Anything in the field of not only limited to the stress, mental health. Mental health. Because it's very important. Our mind is everything. No. The mind or the brain is everything. If you don't have a sound mind, you can't achieve anything. All your dreams are gone. So I want you, anything bothering your mind, feel free to ask. And as the first speaker said, there's no question that is off. Every question is important.
Sir, please, I wanted to ask. Sometimes we'll be there and like an event will happen, then we'll feel like it has already happened and it's happening again, like deja vu. What brings about that
It
one?
has you feel like an event is happening, and you feel like it has happened before and it is repeating itself. Okay, interesting. I handled a case like that. Was it last month or so? So it may be a mental health condition, but with this we need to do proper evaluation to be able to know why you feel the way you feel, because sometimes it may be hallucination. Okay, you are hallucinating, and when we put you on medication, it's a brain activity. We put you on the person on a medication, before you realize you'll be fine. Sometimes it is due to stress. Maybe you are overstressed and you are reliving past experiences. Okay, so we'll have to do proper mental health screening to be able to arrive at the cause. For my clients that I handle, we realize that he's actually hallucinating. So when we place him on medication, he's okay. He's back to school. Yes, please.
Please, you made mention of personnel who help you recover when you are a mental patient. What steps do they take to?
Please, I can't get you. It looks as if those marks is making a business.
Please, you made mention of specific personnel that will help you overcome psychological problems. Please, what steps do they take? Like, what specific steps do they take? And also, I wanted to ask if some of these personnel, they use hypnosis. I wanted to ask if it's advisable. Hypnosis.
It is one area of psychology. So they are experts for it. I am not an expert in that field. And I don't intend becoming an expert, because for my religious background, I don't think it's good. But it is part of psychology. So we have experts in that field. Whether it is good or bad, that is an individual choice. So if you feel that particular technique is not good for you, you have every right to let your therapist know that, look, I don't like this particular technique you want to apply. Okay? And you ask the personnel, what do they do? Yes, that's why we've been trained to be able to assess you, look at the problems or the challenges holistically, then we find a solution. So it is an area of specialization which cannot be explained to you within this short period. Okay, it's a field. And I will encourage you, maybe if you want to in future venture into it, that would be great. It's a wonderful field. In fact, I am even of the opinion that everybody should do basic psychology because it helps you to be able to manage your life well, to be able to carry yourself well. Okay. And,
So then I wanted to ask, can you avoid stress by pretending you are okay?
we don't avoid stress, we manage stress. But we can avoid certain stresses, unnecessary stresses. For example, as I said, if you are going to write exams, you have an exams, and you know the exams is in 1 month time, and you wait till a day or two to the exams and you start learning, don't you think this stress, you brought it upon yourself? It's an avoidable stress. So you can avoid certain stresses, but when we talk about stress in general, it is not something we can avoid. Because, for example, I'm sitting in the trotro going home, okay? Passenger car going home, and there's traffic on the way. Is it my fault? Can I do anything about it? No. Because I can't walk. I can't jump out of the car and begin to run. So I can avoid it, but I can manage it. So we manage it. So the focus is more on the management. Try to manage it, because for stress, it is part of our daily life. It's part of our daily life. As I even mentioned, if you wake up and you sit down doing nothing, you will still be stressed. You can be sleeping and you are stressed. And sometimes when you go on vacation, I know you, some of you sleep, you wake up and you are tired. Is that not it? You are stressed. No, you see, if you pretend you are a human being, there's a breaking point. You get to a point where your system, your body cannot carry it again. Okay? So once it is real, once it is tangible, then you need to find a way of managing it rather than pretending like you are living in denial. No. It will come back to bite you, because it's like it will be piling. Then one day, you can have a cardiac arrest. You can even have a mental breakdown. You start shouting, hey, they carry you. We bring you to our place. We put you on medication. If you are not careful, you'll be on that medication for the rest of your life. Yeah. Any more questions, please? If it is for a short period of time, fine. But if it continues, I'm just giving you an example. The thing is happening over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. How long can you continue? You have a breaking point, because you see, our resistance is not infinite. It gets to a point in time it will break. So the best way is to maybe seek help or find a way around it, rather than pretending it is not happening. Any other question? It looks as if my time is up. Any question again? Any question? Any question?
So please, I want to ask, if maybe in the night and I'm stressed up and I can't sleep, what am I supposed to do by that time?
That's why I taught you the realization technique. If you do it very well, before you realize, you just fall asleep. If you do it very well, you will sleep. You will sleep. So you do the realization technique or the meditation, the deep breathing and all that. Okay. Any other question, please? Okay, there's a hand here. You want to ask a question?
Okay, so let's say there is a snake here and you've panicked, and then your heart started to beat. Can it lead to stress?
Yes, as I said, because your interpretation of that particular situation is danger, like you've seen danger, and naturally your body will react. But you see, within a short period of time after the event, your body should be able to return to its original state, the previous state. But if you are unable to go back to the original state, then it becomes a problem. So remember I mentioned the stages: the alarm stage, the resistance stage, then the exhaustion stage. So after the alarm stage is when the shout snake and your heart is beating and you are running. After you've run to a safe place, the next thing is the resistance. Then your body is coming back to normalcy. But if you are able to do that, then you go to the exhaustion stage, and that is problem. Okay? Yes. Maybe the last person, then I'll wrap up. Last person. Last person.
Are the mental health drugs, are they advisable, like the way we take para, are they advisable to be used like that? Like, for example, it's because one time I heard that they are not very good. Like, if you've not started taking them already, it's better to find a way to control it than to start taking it.
That's a good question. Not only mental health drugs, every drug, as much as possible. Because you see, once you begin to take them, your body is getting used to them. At a point in time, you need to increase the dosage before you have the effect that you are looking for. So it is not every little thing that you go and you take medicine. No. It's not good. Avoid self-medication as much as possible. If you are taking any medication, then it means it is very, very necessary. Okay? Because naturally, if you are eating well, you are sleeping well, our body is able to cope with most of the stresses that come our way. With time, you will return back to normalcy. Okay? All right. Mr. Moderator, I think my time is far spent and I'm done.
Thank you very much. We really appreciate that time, and I know all of us have learned a lot, understanding what it means to manage stress and how to deal with it, its impact on our mental health. I hope today has been very insightful. So as you are going back, please manage stress well, your mental health. Anything that you know can affect your mental health, try to avoid them. Is that okay? Okay, on that note, I would like to invite Miss Vanessa Aqua to come and give us the vote of thanks and then the announcement on the next set of programs. Okay. But on behalf of the committee, I want to thank everyone. I want to thank our resource persons and Mr. Daniel, we thank you so much Doc, we thank you so much. We really appreciate. I personally have learned a lot, and I know that everyone here has taken a lot of nuggets from it. We give God all the thanks and all the glory for what He has done. And I know that you've been equipped well enough to go and make a difference. What you've learned, you also have to impact the people around you. So on that note, I'd like us all to be on our feet as we enter into a time of prayer. Let's begin to thank God. Everything that we've done today, we have done it in His presence, by His direction, not by our own will, not by our own desires, but according to the will and the plan of God. Let's thank God. Heavenly and everlasting Father, Lord, we say thank you. We bless your most holy name. We give you all the glory and all the honor. We thank you for your goodness and your mercy and everything that you've done for us, O Lord. We thank you for the knowledge and the insight that you have given unto us. that as we live here, O God, O Lord, we'll carry that same knowledge and grace that we've received to impact the lives of the people that will come around us. May we, O Lord, O God, move in power, that every dead thing, O Lord, will come to life, that will reveal your presence to the world around us, that all will see and give you the glory and honor, because you alone are God. We commit the rest of the day and all the other activities of Baraka into your hands, that you yourself will do as you have always, that your will be established for all your children, now and forevermore. In Jesus' mighty name we pray. Amen. Shall we share the grace? Peace of our Lord Jesus Christ, the love of God, and the fellowship of the Holy Spirit be with us now and forevermore. Amen. God bless you all for coming.